Now, normally we don't do the Hall of Fame, or at least the inductions don't come out until maybe towards the Royal Rumble or after the Royal Rumble. But since it's kind of towards that time anyway, I guess this one was a big surprise. As well, I wouldn't say really a surprise because some people expected it to happen, along with another man, which we don't know if will happen yet, but we'll see if it does. But in all the years of the Hall of Fame, we thought everything could be, well, I knew something could be done, but a lot of people didn't think more history could be made. But it has. For the first time ever, a man is in the TNA Hall of Fame, as well as now the WWE Hall of Fame. And that man is the man called Steve Borden, otherwise known as Sting. The reason I say that is because of the other Sting, the musician, otherwise known as Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner, otherwise known as the Police's frontrunner Sting. Now, a fun fact about that, and the reason I bring that up, even though with the death recently of David Bowie, which was a very unfortunate to happen yesterday, not last night, and I didn't know about that till now, actually, which is very unfortunate. But the reason I bring that up is because of the fact that Sting, known as Steve Borden, owns the rights to the name of Sting, which he actually rents to the man known as Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner. I actually have to look at it because I'm not used to saying that name, just calling him Sting most of the time. But he actually rents the name the Sting. Well, Sting rents the name the Sting for $1 a year, which is pretty generous, seeing that he owns the rights, the trademarks, everything. And that's he couldn't have done that, but that's amazing. And that is something for sure. And I didn't know that until a couple months ago, which is pretty cool. But but regardless, what can you say about a man called Sting? What can you say? I mean, like it or not, the face of WCW himself, from back in the day of Jim Crockett Promotions. I mean, a former NWA World Television Champion, a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. A former Battle Bowl. Remember when Battle Bowl was a thing? God, Battle Bowl winner, a King of Cable tournament, which I don't even remember that. Iron Man tournament. Of course, the legendary Jim Crockett Memorial Cup with Lex Luger, a former WCW International Heavyweight Champion, which I should explain that for those who don't know what that is. The WCW International Heavyweight Championship was when the Big Gold came back to the WCW after the whole Ric Flair thing, when he brought it as the real World Championship, to which Flair actually held it 5 more times, which some people could argue he could be a 21-time world champion, although that number has been sometimes rumored to be 25 or more. A former United States champion of the WCW, it might have been the NWA as well, but they listed as WCW. Former WCW World Champion, 6-time WCW World Champion, 2-time International Heavyweight, 2-time United States Heavyweight, back when it was the United States Heavyweight Championship, WCW. A 3-time World Tag Champion WCW with Lex Luger, Giant, and Kevin Nash. Like we said before, Iron Man, Battle Bowl, King of Cable, in a European Cup in 1994 and 2000, which I guess was just for European pay-per-views. And the 3rd ever WCW Triple Crown Champion, which I believe was the United States. I want to double check on that, but I believe it was the United States, the World, and the tag team, which it is, yes. Which is a very small list of that, of the Triple Crowns there, which is kind of expected. But that doesn't end there. In Pro Wrestling Illustrated alone, I mean, comeback of the year, match of the year, most improved wrestler of the year, most inspirational wrestler of the year, most popular of the year 4 times, wrestler of the year in 1990, ranked number 1 in the PWI 592, ranked 15 in the PWI Years edition, and 52 in that same year with tag teams. But in TNA is where he was most probably known to most fans. Besides WCW, because we had the greatness known as Sting. We had Surfer Sting, the man called Sting. We had the Crow Sting, which was very interesting because, off of the movie The Crow, or off of a character in the movie The Crow, rather, which was a very interesting thing, which was built up for a year and kind of had a death of WCW in there with the Hogan Sting match in 97, Starrcade, the same year of the Montreal Screwjob, which they played into that with Brett, as he was in the company at the time, which was pretty much the death of the WCW. The finger poke didn't help either, but most people point to the Starrcade 97 as the death of WCW. But in TNA, before I go to TNA, I do want to say, people have argued that Sting has been a a WWE superstar for a long time, which is true, in a way. When WCW was bought out by the then WWF, that last Nitro, when Shane said he owns WCW, was actually produced by WWF at the time. So technically, in his last night in WCW, Sting was also a WWE superstar. Though people have taken probably this long to realize that. But ultimately, he did not sign with the WWE at the time due to the invasion being what it was. He then went to the WWA World Wrestling All Stars, which was a promotion in Australia, which lasted 2003. Which was one of the promotions that opened up after WCW and ECW closed at the time. Just close out some of these, and when that was done, he went to TNA when the TNA was actually under the NWA banner still. Became another NWA World Heavyweight Champion and a 4-time TNA champion, 1-time tag champion with Kurt Angle, which was when Kurt Angle held all the belts at that time. Inspirational Superstar of the Year in 2007, which I guess was an award. Match of the Year of Kurt Angle Bound for Glory, which was, of course, and AJ Styles, and 2 years later. And, of course, the TNA Hall of Fame. And in the UWF was a 3-time tag champion with Eddie Gilbert and Rick Steiner. But Wrestling Observer had his Match of the Year, Most Charismatic, which Match of the Year in 1988 was, of course, the Clash of the Champions, the first ever Clash of Champions with Ric Flair and Sting, which was the time limit draw, which made Sting a name, technically. Most Improved, Most Unimproved, which was 1990, I guess. Didn't improve much back then. 5-star matches, all across the board. And, of course, now, Slammy Awards in WWE and the WWE Hall of Fame, which normally we go through the things really quick on someone of someone's accomplishments, but within Sting's case, it's a lot of accomplishments, so you have to go through them all really quickly as possible. But there is a big question with that. Will Sting compete at WrestleMania? Probably the answer to that will be no, due to the not the attack, but the injury at Night of Champions, which actually Sting confirmed to be was to correct a cervical spinal stenosis, which was of course from the buckle bomb that we saw at Night of Champions. So it depends on the surgery. It depends on how long, if it's already taken place, and how long he has. I mean, he has to WrestleMania to see if that happens. Because a big match people have always wanted was The Undertaker and Sting. And what better place to be than in Dallas, Texas, in the AT&T Stadium, otherwise known to some people as Jerry World. But, what can you say about a man called Sting? We'd be here all day. But at the end of the day, it is long overdue that a man called Sting is in the WWE Hall of Fame.